History is a tapestry woven with triumphs and tragedies, but some threads are stained darker than others, drenched in the blood of those who lived during the reigns of leaders whose names are synonymous with brutality. Today, we're exploring 10 of the bloodiest leaders in history, whose legacies were defined not by their achievements, but by the rivers of blood spilled under their command. Number 10, Vlad the Impaler. Also known as Vlad Dracula, this 15th century ruler of Wallachia gained infamy for his preferred method of execution, impalement. It's estimated that Vlad ordered the deaths of tens of thousands of people, including prisoners, enemies, and even his own subjects. Stories tell of vast forests of impaled bodies, their lifeless corpses a warning to invaders and rebels alike. Vlad's reign, though often mythologized, remains one of the most gruesome chapters in Eastern European history, earning him a reputation that inspired the legend of Dracula. Number 9, Leopold II of Belgium. While King Leopold II never ruled over Belgium itself in the conventional sense, his personal control of the Congo Free State is one of the most horrifying examples of colonial exploitation. Under his rule, an estimated 10 million Congolese people died due to forced labor, starvation, disease, and outright murder. His agents brutalized the local population to extract rubber and ivory, enforcing quotas with unspeakable acts of violence, including mutilation. Leopold's atrocities are a haunting reminder of the human cost of colonial greed. Number 8, Pol Pot. Pol Pot's reign over Cambodia as the leader of the Khmer Rouge from 1975 to 1979 turned the country into a death camp and a graveyard. His vision of an agrarian utopia led to the forced relocation of city dwellers, mass executions, and the deaths of up to 2 million Cambodians, about a quarter of the population. The infamous killing fields are a lasting symbol of Pol Pot's brutal social engineering experiment, where human lives were viewed as expendable in service of ideology. Number 7, Joseph Stalin. Stalin's name is forever etched in the history of the Soviet Union, a reign of terror that saw the deaths of approximately 20 million people. His policies, including forced collectivization, triggered famines that killed millions, while purges and gulags decimated entire segments of society. Stalin ruled through fear, crushing dissent with ruthless efficiency, and leaving a legacy of both industrial progress and unparalleled suffering. His reign is a stark reminder of how power can be wielded to achieve both remarkable advancements and devastating human costs. Number 6, Genghis Khan. The Mongol Empire under the leadership of Genghis Khan was both one of history's most impressive achievements and one of its most brutal. Genghis and his armies swept across Asia and into Europe, killing an estimated 40 million people. Entire cities were razed to the ground, their populations annihilated as Khan expanded his empire. Though he was also a visionary leader who united diverse peoples, his conquests left a bloody trail that still echoes in the annals of history. Number 5, Mao Zedong. The founding father of the People's Republic of China, Mao's leadership combined ambition with atrocity. Policies like the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution had devastating consequences, leading to famine, violence, and the deaths of an estimated 45 million people. Mao's vision of communist progress came at an unthinkable human cost, with many of his victims dying in silence from hunger, neglect, or political persecution. The legacy of Mao Zedong is a haunting testament to the devastating consequences of unchecked ambition and the human cost of ideological zeal. Number 4, Adolf Hitler. Few names evoke the horror of mass murder more than Adolf Hitler. As the leader of Nazi Germany, Hitler orchestrated the Holocaust, the systematic extermination of 6 million Jews, alongside millions of Poles, Romani people, disabled individuals, and political dissidents. His aggressive militarism plunged the world into World War II, causing an additional 70 to 85 million deaths worldwide. Hitler's reign represents one of humanity's darkest chapters, where hatred and ideology paved the way for unparalleled suffering. Number 3, Attila the Hun. Known as the Scourge of God, Attila's conquests ravaged Europe in the 5th century, leaving a bloody legacy that terrified the civilizations of the Roman Empire. His armies pillaged, slaughtered, and devastated territories, leaving nothing but ash and despair in their wake. Though his empire faded after his death, Attila remains a symbol of unrelenting destruction and the chaos of unchecked ambition. Number 2, Tamerlane, the 14th century conqueror of Central Asia, followed in the footsteps of Genghis Khan, but with even more bloodshed. As he built a vast empire, Tamerlane was responsible for the deaths of an estimated 17 million people. He left behind pyramids of human skulls as grotesque monuments to his victories. While he saw himself as a restorer of Genghis Khan's empire, his actions cast a long shadow over the regions he left devastated. Number 1. King Qin Shi Huang. The first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang is remembered for unifying China and building parts of the Great Wall. But his ruthlessness makes him one of the bloodiest leaders in history. He buried hundreds of scholars alive to suppress dissent and forced countless others into deadly labor for his grand construction projects. Qin's obsession with creating a legacy came at the expense of untold human suffering, and his methods serve as a grim testament to the cost of ambition. Throughout history, these leaders achieved power through fear and maintained it through violence. Their reigns cost millions of lives, and their legacies remind us of the devastating consequences of unchecked authority. They serve as cautionary tales, warning us of what happens when humanity loses its conscience in the pursuit of power. While their stories are difficult to hear, they are important to remember, for history can only guide us if we're willing to learn from its darkest moments.